AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a January transfer move to Arsenal.
Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a January transfer move to Arsenal. You can tell by the smile on my face that I was very happy with last night's performance. Arsenal beating Chelsea at Stamford Bridge by 3-2. My only thing that I was upset about is how did we even give these guys 2 goals, because we dominated the game from start to finish, by far the better team. Really good performances right throughout from Arsenal. Great goal by Zubimendi, and great to see Victor Gyökeres on the score sheet. He scored a goal, tap in, but listen, that's what you're there for, and also had an assist. Listen, when you've been bought for a lot of money and you're under a lot of pressure, scoring goals and assists in a semi-final is the perfect, answer for that, because these are the type of situations that you have been bought in for. So it was great to see him, get on the score sheet. Fantastic atmosphere at the game. There was about, literally the whole of one end was all Arsenal fans making lots and lots of noise, and a great atmosphere there. And just, I really, really enjoyed that last night. And always good to win at Stamford Bridge. Some of their fans coming out whinging about the fact that they were missing a couple of players. And I had to turn around to them and say, well, you spent a lot of money, billions of pounds on this squad. Where is it? What, if you're missing a couple of players, what, that's it? You're saying that you can't win the game because, I had to remind this guy that, when Arsenal went to Stamford Bridge earlier on this, in December, there was no Saliba or Gabriel in defence. So played against Villa, no Declan Rice. That's how it goes sometimes. You've got to use your squad. And that is the whole point of bringing in transfers. That is the whole point in recruitment and making sure your recruitment is good. And that is one thing that Arsenal have done really well this season, that they've been able to cope with injury after injury after injury. Now, one player that didn't figure at all, even in the squad, not even on the bench, again, was Nwaneri, despite the fact that, in my opinion, he had a very good game on the weekend against Portsmouth, showed us, that he's still a very, very good player. Now, reports yesterday, and I think this came from the ITK Hand of Arsenal, who's a pretty reliable guy. His sources, he's a good source. He claimed yesterday that West Ham interested in signing Nwaneri. Now, of course, West Ham, we know their situation at the moment. They're in the bottom 3. They've got problems. They're trying to bring players in to keep them in the division. Lucas Paqueta, their star player, has turned around this week and said he wants to return back to Brazil. That's great, when the fight's on. You want to bail out, but he wants to go back to Brazil so he could possibly leave the club. And they're interested in bringing in Nwaneri to strengthen and try and keep them in the division. However, Arsenal are said to be not interested in letting Nwaneri leave the club this January transfer window. At the start of the window, it was, deemed that this was almost like a definite. There was several clubs interested in him, like Bournemouth and Brentford. Now, as I said, West Ham, another one. I've heard that there's other clubs in the Premier League who'd like to take him. However, Arsenal are like, no, we want you to stay. You've got a part to play. We're going to have a lot of games in this second section of the season, and Nwaneri wants you to stay. And I'm not against that. He looked good when he came on the other day, and there are a lot of games for Arsenal. So Nwaneri looking like he's staying at Arsenal. What about this one yesterday? This came as a real surprise. The journalist Sami Mokbel, who's always very reliable, he claimed that Nottingham Forest want to end the loan for Alexander Zinchenko. Came as a real surprise. Sometimes we even forget that he's on loan at Nottingham Forest. Now, his contract's up at the end of the season. He's gone to Forest. He's only, from what I can see, I think he's only made 5 appearances for Nottingham Forest this season. He's not getting any starts. He's not making an impact. And basically, it's obvious. It seems pretty obvious that at the moment they don't fancy Zinchenko there, and they would like to end his loan early and send him back to Arsenal for the end of the season. Now, of course, you saw last night we had a little bit of an issue at left back because Mars Lewis Skelly hasn't really been on form this season. There was no Hincapie, there was no Calafiori, and Urian Timber had to go and fill in on the left-hand side. However, it's been said that Arsenal do not have to take Alexander Zinchenko back, despite the fact that Forest want to send him back. According to the contracts at the moment that they did with Nottingham Forest, they don't have to take him back. Forest are obligated to take him on loan from now to the end of the season, and it's for them to sort out the issue and what they're going to do with Alexander Zinchenko, unless it was Arsenal and Forest to both come to an agreement where Zinchenko came back, which at the moment, that doesn't look like that's going to happen because Arsenal see themselves, even despite the injuries, as being stacked in that area. Once all of these injuries resolve themselves, there's 3 to 4 options who can play on that left-hand side, left back, and I don't think Arsenal are going to do that. So despite those reports, don't expect to see Alexander Zinchenko returning back to Arsenal before the end of this transfer window in January. There's also a lot of reports out today that Arsenal growing increasingly confident of signing Mark Guehi in the summer. Now, as we know, Mark Guehi, big story of this January transfer window, wanted by a lot of clubs. Manchester City are the club who would like to take him this January. We know his contract's up at the end of the transfer window. Liverpool interested. They're going to need a centre-back. Arsenal interested, but they seem to be growing increasingly confident that he won't go this January and that he will stay with Crystal Palace till the end of the season, where Arsenal, they'll be able to get him on a free contract. Now, long way to go on this. Long way to go on this one. But those are the reports today. Also, another report that Arsenal are still interested in trying to sign Kenan Yildiz of Juventus, the star player, young player at the moment for Juventus. I think it was their player of the month in December. Top quality player, still only 20. Now, there's been lots of links linking Arsenal to Yildiz since the start of the January transfer window. He's currently on a salary of around about 1.7 million euros, and he's trying to quadruple that and trying to get a new deal done, despite the fact that his current deal runs till 2029. He's trying to get an extension with bigger money to reflect his status at the club. And that hasn't happened yet. There's been negotiations rumored to be going on, but that hasn't happened yet. And Arsenal still eyeing a move to try and get Kenan Yildiz to Arsenal. More, again, a summer move than a move now. But that one's still rolling on. Is this your typical agents briefing the press to try and get their client a better deal? That's what it strikes me as. Juventus, they desperately want to keep hold of Yildiz. They don't want their sort of star player going elsewhere at the moment. They see him as that brand name to carry the project forward. But these rumours still keep being out there. He still keeps getting heavily linked with Arsenal. But is this the agents briefing the press? So the press put it out there so he can try and quadruple his clients' wages and put pressure on Juventus. It really does smell of that for me, but, stranger things have happened. And this one that I've been talking about quite a lot on the show, Bruno Beeden of Corinthians. Strong reports still that Arsenal, have made formal contact to try and sign him. Reported on this one yesterday. Manchester United have also emerged as a team, though, that would like to sign him. 20 years of age, this kid. Central midfielder. You heard that guy the other day in the comments. He said that he's sort of like a Declan Rice type player. 56 appearances last year for Corinthians. So that's a lot for a 20-year-old. They must highly rate him. ETI Sports over there in Brazil claiming that Corinthians are looking for around about £26 million to sell him. Will Arsenal move for him before the end of this transfer window? The interest is still there. definitely. But Manchester United also one of those clubs very interested in signing him. So if Arsenal are going to make a move, it may have to be this January. Let's wait and see what happens. So those are the rumours for today. Don't forget to check out Forever Arsenal today. We'll be obviously talking about the Chelsea game and looking ahead to Nottingham Forest at the weekend. But thanks for watching the show today. I'll see you tomorrow.